Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. Today we are going to talk about fractions. We're going to talk about some different subtracting strategies that you can use to help you find the answer, especially as we get into doing more word problems. And we're also going to talk about the parts of a flower. So this week is, we celebrated Earth Day on Wednesday, April 22nd. So I thought that it would be a nice review for us to talk about the parts of a flower. So I hope that this helps you learn a little bit more about fractions, and we will definitely continue practicing this skill as we continue our Zoom calls together. Okay, so just to review some of our fraction facts. So remember that fractions are a part of a whole, okay? So remember, if I have a little piece, if I have like three little pieces, right, that those little pieces, they make my whole, okay? Each part makes the whole. And that fractions also need to show equal parts, and that with my fractions I will always have a numerator and I will always have a denominator, okay? Remember, my numerator is on top and my denominator is on the bottom. All right, so I want you to look at the gray shaded area, and I want you to tell me, what is this fraction showing? Yeah, so this fraction is showing 2/3. How do I know that? How do I know it's showing 2/3? Well, I'm going to first look at how many parts are shaded in that are gray. Let's see. Let me get my pen here. Let's see if it will do that. Maybe not. Okay, that's okay. I'll just use my mouse. Okay, so actually, let me see if I can move my bubble. There we go. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get it up here. Okay, so I have one part that's gray, and I have two parts that are gray. So 1, 2. So I know that that has to go on top. That's my numerator. So I put my 2 right on top here. Now I have to look at, okay, but what's my total? How many parts make a whole? Well, 1, 2, 3 parts make a whole. So when I read this, am I going to say 2, 3? No, I'm going to say 2/3, because remember, this is showing thirds. So I say 2/3. Okay? Awesome. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so go ahead and think about what fraction this is, and I want you to look at the green piece. What is the green piece showing us? Yeah, so the green piece is showing us 1/4. Okay, so I know that because I have this part that's green. Okay, it's showing me one piece, so that is always going to be my numerator. Okay, so one piece, but how many pieces make my whole? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 all together that makes my whole, and I always put my whole bottom, my total on the bottom. So do I say 1/4? No, I have to say 1/4, like th, fourth, kind of like our ordinal numbers. So it's really helpful with fractions if you think about ordinal numbers. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, what fraction is this showing? Yeah, so this one is showing 1/2. And I know this because I can see here that this part is shaded in, okay? And I have one piece that is shaded in, and my other piece here is blank. So I know that I have one on top, and I have two make my whole, so my whole goes on the bottom, 2, and I'm going to call this 1/2, okay? 1/2. So if you have half of something, like if I break a cookie in half, or if I slice a banana in half, I know that I have one piece of it, I have one piece of the half, okay? All right, and then let's try this one. Yeah, so this one is showing me 3/4. How do I know that it's showing me 3/4? Well, I first need to see how many shaded blue I have. So I have 1, 2, 3 blue pieces. So I need to put my part on top, my 3 parts. And then on the bottom, I need to think about my whole. How many do I have in total? How many do I have all together? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is my whole. So I know that I need to put 4 on the bottom, okay? 4 is my whole there, okay? So do I say 3/4? Nope, I have to say 3/4. 3/4 because this is showing me fourths. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about some different subtraction strategies that you can use when you are trying to find the answer to a math question. All right, so first we're going to use a tens frame to find the answer to 10 minus 4. So I would like you to draw your own tens frame, and we'll find the answer all together. All right, so I drew 10 in my tens frame, and then I took away 4. I took away 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I know that my answer is 6. That's right, because I have over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, this time we're going to find 12 minus 2 using a picture. Okay, so I usually like to always start with the biggest number. So what's bigger here, 12 or 2? That's right, 12. I would want 12 cookies. I wouldn't want only 2 cookies. I want the most. I want to find the biggest number. So I'm always going to start with my biggest number when I'm subtracting. So I'll let you guys have a second to find the answer to this one. Yeah, so I took away 2. My answer is 10. That's right. I had 10 flowers left over. Very good job. All right, now this time we're going to use mental math to find the answer, okay? So mental math means that we're going to use our brains to find the answer. So I'm going to pretend that this thinking bubble is my brain, and I'm going to put 11 in my brain. So I want everyone to take the number 11 and put it in their brain. Okay, so 11's in my brain. Now I need to take away 7. So that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop at the number 7. I'm going to take away 7. So I'm going to use my fingers to help me keep track of how many I've taken away. So I'm going to say, okay, 11's in my head. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So I know my answer is 4 because I stopped when I had 7 fingers. I didn't stop when I got to 7. I stopped when I had 7 fingers. So I know my answer is 4. So let's do that one more time. 11's in my head. Okay, 11's in my head. Now I'm going to take away 7. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So I know my answer is 4, okay? So make sure that you're practicing that at home to help you, okay? And then let's use our fingers to find the answer. So usually if the biggest number is 10, you can always use your fingers. So let's go ahead and try this one. So I have 10 and I need to take away 9. So I'm going to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I have 1 finger left. That's right, 1 finger. So 1 is my answer. Awesome job. And there's our 1. And you can use any of those strategies to help you find the answer, okay? So now we are going to watch a quick Jack Hartman video. And this video is going to walk us through some different word problems. And you can pause the video as it goes along and you can use the different strategies that we just reviewed, okay? So I'll go this way.
Children's songs, sing and move along. Children's songs make your brain and body strong. Subtraction, action, this is how you play. Move your body and take away. When you subtract things, you get the difference. Let's do subtraction move and have fun. 4 bald eagles are gliding through the air. 2 bald eagles fly down and land somewhere. How many bald eagles are gliding through the air? 4 minus 2 equals 2. 3 alligators are swimming in the lake. 2 alligators go on the grass and take a break. How many alligators are swimming in the lake? 3 minus 2 equals 1. 10 fast runners are running in a race. 5 fast runners finish at record pace. How many fast runners are still running in the race? 10 minus 5 equals 5. 8 bodybuilders are pumping up some weights. 5 bodybuilders stop and take a break. How many bodybuilders are still pumping up some weights? 8 minus 5 equals 3. Subtraction, action, this is how you play. Move your body and take away. When you subtract things, you get the difference. Let's do subtraction, move and have fun. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below.
All right, so hopefully that video helped you use some of the skills that we just talked about. And we will continue to practice our subtraction as we work in our Zoom calls as well. All right, so now we're going to talk about the parts of a flower. So hopefully this is review for many of you, but I figured since we did celebrate Earth Day this week that this would be a great time to talk about flowers. So I wanted to start with this awesome video. This is one of my favorite videos because it shows us how a seed turns into a flower, but it shows us the steps super fast. So I thought it would be so awesome to show you guys this video. It is really cool to see how quickly how this video shows really quickly the stages of a flower, because usually we have to wait a really long time to see a flower grow, and this helps us see everything that happens in the soil till the flower blooms and we can see, its really pretty petals. So I really enjoy this video, so I'm hoping that you guys like this video as well. So here you can see that it's starting as a seed, okay? So here in the video, we can see that it's starting to sprout, right? We can start seeing the green on it. It's starting to sprout. So here we can see that the flowers are starting to bloom, right? So it's so cool to see all these all the steps that it takes to create a flower. going to just review the different parts of a flower. So first we have the petals. That's our outside of the flower, and petals can be all sorts of different colors, right? We can see flowers that are red or green or purple or blue even. And that part of our flower is very fragile, right? It's very delicate. So sometimes with windstorms and things like that, the petals can easily fly off. So that is different from other parts of our flower. Like our stem is nice and strong. It keeps our flower nice and tall, and it makes sure that our flower stands up the right way and that it's not droopy, right? So our stem is really important in keeping our flower nice and strong. Then we also have leaves, and sometimes flowers have thorns. If you remember when we talked about cacti or a cactus, that those have thorns too, and remember that those thorns protect a cactus from being eaten by different animals. And it's kind of the same thing with these flowers as well. It helps to protect that rose there. And the leaves are also super important because flowers make their own food, which is so cool. And that is a process, and it's a really long and tricky word, but it's called photosynthesis. And so the flower, its leaves use the sun to create its own food. And it's a really cool process. So we can't make our own food. Unfortunately, we can't use our bodies to make our own food, but the flowers can. They use their leaves to help in creating their own food. And then we also have roots. So roots are deep down in the soil, and they help to bring nutrients and water to our flower. That's why it's so important that we water our plants and flowers and trees so that it can get those nutrients to grow and survive. So I hope that was a good review for you all, and I really hope you enjoyed that video. That's one of my favorite videos because it just shows the process so fast. All right, so we're going to go ahead and read chapter 7 of Junie B. Jones, and it is called Spike. After lunch, it was time to get the children together again. I clapped my loud hands some more. Okay, people, the fun is over. Get your buddy and get in line on account of Farmer Flores wants to talk some more. Farmer did a teensy frown at me. Then he holded my hand and we walked across the yard to another fence. Inside the fence, there was a building and some chickens. Okay, everyone, said Farmer Flores. This is the last stop on the tour today. He pointed. Who can tell me what that little building is right there? Lucille jumped up and down real happy. The gift shop, the gift shop. I've been wondering where that was, she said, real delighted. Farmer Flores did a chuckle. Well, that's a good guess, but most farms don't have a gift shop. He looked at the class. I'll give you a hint. My wife and I get eggs for our breakfast every morning from that little house there. Just then a boy named Roger jumped up and down and all around. I know, it's a hen house. Farmer Flores smiled. Right, it's a house where hens lay their eggs. Farmer Flores opened the gate. I tugged on his shirt. He bended down next to me. Is there a rooster in there too? I asked, kind of scared. Just one, he said, but there's lots of chickens. Want to go inside and say hello? Uh-oh, how do you think Junie B. Jones is feeling right now? Yeah, she's probably feeling a little bit scared, right? I shook my head real fast and I runned away from the gate speedy quick. Polly Allen Puffer and Jim laughed and pointed. Look at Junie B. Junie B's afraid of roosters. Farmer Flores made an angry face at those two. Hey, he said. I'm surprised at you boys. There's nothing wrong with someone being a little scared of roosters. Just then, some of the other children looked kind of scared too. Why? Asked Lucille. Is the rooster going to peck us? Farmer Flores shook his head. No, he said, that old rooster in there is a pretty calm fella. But that doesn't mean Junie B. should be laughed at. He smiled a little bit. Why, I've been around farm animals all my life, he said, but every once in a while I still come across an animal that I don't get along with. Farmer laughed. In fact, we used to have a goat, who nipped at me every time I got near him, and for years I made my wife go in his pen and feed him. After that, Farmer Flores winked at me, and Mrs. said I could wait outside the gate. My shoulders relaxed very much. I sat down on the grass outside the fence. Only wait till you hear this. Pretty soon, Farmer leaned over the fence where I was sitting, and he was holding a baby yellow chick. I giggled and giggled at that cute little thing. A chick, a baby chick. Can I hold it, Farmer? Please, please, I asked. Farmer Flores put the baby chick in my hand. It was fluffy and softy and light as a feather. Oh, I love it, Farmer. I love this baby chick. After that, I put the chick in the grass and on my lap and in my straw hat. Plus, also, I put it in my big, wide pocket. I peeked at it in there. Aw, and there's Junie B with a baby chick. I wish I could take you home with me, I said. I wish I could take you home to my house, and then you could live with me and my dog Tickle forever and ever. Would you like that? Would you? The baby chick did a peep. Hey, you said yes, I said. I turned around. Did you hear that, Farmer? The baby chick said it would like to come home with me. Farmer shook his head. Oh, I don't know, Junie B, he said. I'm not sure you'd really like having Spike grow up at your house. I had a frown. Who's Spike? Spike, the chick. He said, we named that little guy Spike. I peeked at the chick again. Yeah, only Spike is not a good name for a fluffy baby chick, I said. I know, Junie B, he said, but Spike isn't going to be a little chick forever, you know. I know, I said back, because someday Spike will be a giant chick, right, Farmer, right? Well, not exactly, he said. I looked at him real curious. Well, if Spike won't be a big chick, what's Spike gonna be? I asked. Farmer Flores took Spike back from me. He held him in his hands and patted his little softy head. Someday, Spike will be a rooster. And tomorrow, we will read chapter 8, which is called Confusion. Okay? So I hope you all are enjoying that. And I think that chapter 8 might be, chapter 8 is our last chapter. So after this, we will start a new Junie B. Jones book. So I hope that you are really enjoying this one. And I will be sure to attach some worksheets so that you can review the parts of the flower on your own and also practice some subtraction as well. I look forward to seeing everyone in our next Zoom call. Have a great rest of your day.